Good morning, all. My name is Taylor Folks, and I am here to run this seminar about evaluating your child. Are you unfamiliar with IDEA and the IEP process? Well, these key components of IDEA and IEP will help you navigate your child's progress to good mental health. Well, you want to know, what is FAPE, or better known as FAPE? It is called Free Appropriate Public Education. FAPE is the free appropriate public education for children with different problems. It is part of the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, better known as the IDEA. Sometimes this is called special education. FAPE is the foundation of your child's special education program. When children are born with a disorder, they have the right to use any educational program that is available to them. These programs are mostly set up by the government, although some are funded through charity and private individuals. An IEP is an acronym that stands for Individualized Education Program. Some people may refer to it as an individualized education plan. Eligibility determination. Eligibility determinations is dependent on several factors. First, the student must be present and available for instruction. This means attendance cannot be an issue. The second, students should also have gone through instructional support teams and interventions tried and implemented, which should be documented and monitored prior to special education referrals. The third, medication should be tried and considered if the presence of things like ADHD or behavioral issues arise. IEP components. The IEP begins with the student demographics and reasons for the referral. Everyone who is in the attendance of the IEP must sign in. Present level of performance, better known as PLAAP, is discussed. This is basically a review of results of evaluation and their ability level from all evaluators. The eligibility of services is discussed, what disability they qualify for, if any, and goals are then discussed. Services are discussed, and the duration of service can be discussed. For example, learning centers, speech, social work, and OT. Modifications are also discussed if needed, paraprofessionals, etc. Participation and signatures are also included in the discussion. The parent will then sign in if they agree or disagree with service and the implementation date. Parent and student involvement. Parents and students are invited to attend the IEP. Parents' input is requested for the meeting of the IEP process. Parents also receive evaluation scales to complete during the testing period for their input on observed behaviors in the home. Parents also input their concerns and their hopes and their strengths of the student into the IEP while developing it during the meeting. Quarterly progress monitoring annual review process. The annual review usually occurs within a year of initial placement and yearly thereafter. The date of the annual review should be part of the student's IEP. An eligibility committee review may be requested by the parent or guardian, the student's teacher, or a school administrator at any time to determine if a change or modification is needed. If this occurs, the next review must be conducted within 1 year. The annual review can occur at any time during the school year. However, many districts do a quarterly progress review. What is a least restrictive environment? It is a program that is set up to meet the needs of a child who has special needs. A least restrictive environment, or known as LRE, is provided by a special education law that requires school districts to place a child in a room that addresses their individual needs. A child's LRE will depend on their abilities and disabilities. IDEA mandates LRE to make sure that individuals need determining for each individual placement, not the other way around. Quarterly progress, annual reviews, procedural safeguards, etc. Quarterly progress monitoring is goals that are supposed to be monitored quarterly and progress that should be documented in the IEP and discussed with the parent and the student. Annual review process, where all IEPs are valid for 1 year and should be evaluated prior to the expiration date for progress. Annual reviews of IEPs must be reviewed and signed by a parent. If the student is of age, the student should review and sign. The student can be in attendance, but this is usually middle and high school students. Procedural safeguards, where every parent must receive a procedure and safeguard pamphlet because it tells them their rights and responsibilities, and it tells them how to file appeals if they do not agree with components of the IEP. This tells them the timelines of evaluation and gives them compliance information. Prior written notice is where parents are entitled to receive written notices informing them of the IEP evaluation, and the notice gives them the time and date that they will have the IEP meeting to determine if their student is eligible for special education services. The notice should be received days prior to the IEP. Parents must receive adequate notice so that they can attend the IEP. Related services. Related services are considered services that are identified on the IEP, like speech, social work, or OT/PT. These are other services that the student qualifies for, along with special education services. We know that the IEP process can be a bit challenging if you are doing it for your student or for your child. But if you have any further information or questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out to your child's teacher or to an administrator that will be able to better service you and help you get the resources and information needed. Thank you and have a good one.